what I'm
Well,
saying?
hello, Benjis, and welcome to the Binge Worthy Podcast, part of the Geekish Network. My name is Johnny Randolph, and I am a speaker, trainer, and a podcaster. And I've got three of the best co-hosts in all of entertainment. My first co-host, she is an actress, a writer, a director. Say hello to the people, Miss Courtney Scott Wright.
Hello, hello.
And my next co-host, he is a serial entrepreneur. He's a game designer and part owner of the Geekish Network. Say what's up to the people, Chuck.
What it do?
And my final co-host, he's also an actor and a director. I call him the Game Spitter because you can catch him every week right here on the Binge Worthy Podcast, spitting that fire. Say what's up to the people, Centel.
What's cracking, late Big Pippa? Yo, what's up? This is one of my absolute favorite times of the day, days of the week, Odin's Day, kicking it, talking trash, and starting fights with the people that I love most.
All right. And we are the Binge Worthy Podcast. Now, just a little background on what the Binge Worthy Podcast is. Every week, we will binge watch a television series, and then we come right here to the Binge Worthy Podcast to provide you with an in-depth analysis on that series. Now, we start off every show by rating that property based on our unique binge-worthy scale. Then we engage in a little conversation, and at the end of the program, we re-rate the series. Now, maybe our discussion can influence some of our co-hosts to change or alter their rating. And speaking of our binge-worthy scale, it is as followed. At a number 5, it's called a full binge out. That just means it is outstanding. It is one of those properties that you cannot miss. You will sit down and watch it in 1 or 2 sessions. At a number 4 is what we call a full meal. Now, a full meal isn't quite a full binge out, but it is definitely worth your time to watch this series. And number 3 is a mini meal. A mini meal isn't bad. It's just not really good. It's kind of, it's a little bland. Courtney always calls it's a TV dinner. And I always say, without all the lavish seasoning, it's just bland and boring. And number 2 is a snack. A snack, it is something you're watching it just because you ain't got shit else to do. There's no new series out and you watched everything. Maybe the NBA season is over with or the NFL season is over with, and you just got to watch old boring baseball and whatever that property is. So that's what we call a snack. And a number 1, it's called a cringe worthy. And that always leads me to my follow-up question. Chuck, why the hell did you recommend we watch this? And I can't get my time back. Now, I'm just messing around with Chuck, but a cringeworthy is something you do not want to watch. So we're going to start off this episode by rating Foundation. Foundation, the premise of Foundation is thousands of years ago, the Foundation, a band of exiles who discovered that the only way to save the Galactic Empire from destruction is to defy it. Foundation is an American science fiction streaming television series created by David S. Goyer and John Friedman for Apple TV, based on the Foundation series of stories by Isaac Asimov. Now, we're going to go ahead and rate this. So we'll start off with you, Chuck. How are you going to rate Foundation? Can't hear you, bro.
Chuck.
Yeah, you couldn't hear me. I've been debating this all day.
Really?
All day. I want to give it a full meal, but I'm going to give it a mini meal.
Okay. You want to explain a little bit, or you?
Oh yeah, I can explain. Right. As beautiful as this is, and the fact that I saw black love on screen for a split second. This is a fan fiction adaptation of Foundation from Isaac Asimov. I mean, because he's as racist as any man that was born in 1920. And white men
Facts.
usually run everything, and
Facts.
this didn't have white men running everything. So I'm like, this deserves a full meal. They took his idea and his story and changed it. They were like, this is not like that first book. We're going to change everything here. It's not women are cruel. We need to beat them. And that those coloreds over there, that's what they want to be called these days, want to take over the world. It was not
Wait,
that
was that in
story.
the book?
That's not in the book, but it's very
But
much
it
pretty
is
much
white
like that.
characters.
It is
Yeah.
very. It's all white characters and all white male characters, and
Well, I mean,
everybody
there
else.
were white men running it, but
Yeah, that part too. Harry is still running it, no matter what. The even as a
Well, yeah,
dead
on
white
both
man, he was
sides.
still running
Yeah,
it.
can't get rid of him.
Yeah, you can't get rid of him. He's like everywhere, and I didn't mind Empire at all. Empire was like one of my favorite characters, and I want to save this series because at the end of the day, I truly liked Empire. I liked brother Dawn, brother Day, and brother Dusk. I loved all three of them, and I could tell y'all that later. But yeah,
Oh, that's what you meant by Empire.
Empire. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the
Okay. I
Empire,
thought
the
you were
show
talking
about the
the
music
TV
moguls.
series.
Yeah.
No,
I was
I thought you was talking about them.
Empire.
That's what their name is,
So
Empire.
just to
They're called
recap
Empire.
for the audience, you're correct. You're absolutely correct. But I was not there mentally. I was not following that thread. And so when you put "I love Empire" in our personal group chat, I thought you were talking about the TV series with
No,
Roger P.
no,
Henson.
Courtney. You know
I
anything
said, I
about
didn't finish
me?
that.
You know anything about me,
We do
Courtney?
not like Empire.
You know I wouldn't like Empire. I thought you knew me. I thought you knew me as a
Hey,
That was
man.
so- that's
Hey,
why it was
man. Don't be
shocking.
talking about
That's why
Empire.
it was
Hey,
shocking.
man.
Man.
And I
Hey,
didn't-
Hey,
tell
man.
I
Obama,
didn't say
tell Obama
anything.
call him back. I'm talking to my kids
Hey,
right
man.
now.
You see, I didn't respond other than I didn't finish that series. I didn't want to go into it because I was like,
No,
Hey,
Empire.
man. Empire was good, man. All right.
I understand now. I understand.
Did
I'm
tell,
so
man.
3 days later.
Oh,
How,
The audience
how you
should
gonna,
know that Courtney is a little slow at times. That's
how
a
are you
little
gonna
slow.
rate
And
Foundation?
my friends always tell me
You
that
went
I'm
to
just a
public
little
school.
bit blonde.
You went to public school.
I went to public school. I had a blonde moment.
I
I'm
did.
so sorry.
All right, so you know me, man. I really keep to my Twitter. My Twitter always is a really good thumb on the pulse of just what to kind of check for. And when the first, I guess, I don't know if Apple released it all at once or if they did it like week to week, but I know like the
Week to
first
week.
2 weeks that it came out, first 2 weeks it came out, it's all people were talking about, like nonstop. And then it kind of like fizzled out a little. People just kind of like stopped talking about it. But I
Got too
kept hearing
black.
it's like, I kept hearing that it was like, well, it's properly represented. You should owe it to yourself if you're a person of color that loves sci-fi. It's like must see if you're a person of color. So I was like, all right, bet. And the court brought it up a couple of weeks ago. She was like, yo, look, we need to check out Foundation. It was on the thing. I watched the first 2 episodes and I was pretty shocked. I was like, wow, okay, I wasn't expecting this. The story was good. It passed the phone test. It was like right around episode, like maybe like 5 or 6. I started going back to my phone a little bit. It just couldn't keep that same initial intensity. I was watching it more out of scientific sci-fi person of color's obligation because I just wasn't blown away. You know, I didn't hate it. It's not bad, but it's a mini meal for me. It came out the gates as binge. I was like, them first two,
What'd
I
you
was
say?
like, yo,
You said
this
it's a
might
mini
be.
meal?
Yeah, to me, it's a mini meal.
Mini-meal.
It came out the gates like full blown binge, and I thought it was gonna just maintain it, but it just kind of just lost steam for me. But it's not bad. I don't want people to think it's
That's
bad.
not-
It's not bad at all. It's just not the end all be all. It's not. Yeah, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna give it a full meal. The first 2 I thought were bangers straight out the gate, and as we were talking about, I was like, black people, we done made it, baby. What is it? The year like 2731, and we still around. We inhabiting full planet. So I enjoyed it. And to piggyback a little bit on what Chuck said, I dug the 2 empires. The youngest one I didn't dig. The older, the main one, and then the older one I dug. The younger one I was like, nah, not really feeling him. But the story I thought was compelling. The only reason that I really didn't give this a full binge out is because I didn't feel there was enough action. And the end kind of surprised me. I was anticipating some sort of big battle or some sort of big fight, and I didn't get that. I wanted them to amp up the action just a little bit more. But throughout, I really enjoyed this series. So, Courtney, we're going to follow up with you. What are you going to rate Foundation?
Well, so like as Centel already mentioned, I brought it up in the group, like the pilot was amazing. And again, like the first 2 episodes, like as everyone said, were just fantastic. And then it did start to fall off and lose my attention. And it was really upsetting for me because I am a story person. So the story I thought was the way that it was crafted, I did like it, but I did have some problems that we'll get into as we go forward. I'm fluctuating in between a mini meal and a full meal. Y'all have already pushed me over to the, because it was not going to be binge worthy. You guys have already pushed me towards mini meal because a lot of my problems are devices that were used over and over again. Like how many times we have to put Gail in cryostasis? How many years is she gonna lose? I'm a little frustrated with this. It's a way to pass time without actually passing time, and that's kind of frustrating for me. I hated her daughter, Salvor, horrible actress. She was too busy focusing on not having a British accent, and she was uninteresting. Her story was interesting. The way she was written was interesting. As an actress, she was boring. She was like watching paint flake slowly. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna do a mini meal.
Okay. So that gives us 30%.
Courtney, I agree with you with Sal. I thought her character was kind of weak. Like you're the warden and you're so weak. And
So
like you did
boring and weak.
First of all, you're flying the spacecraft going into the air to take them to a spacecraft that destroys planets. Why would you do that? Why don't you just ram it into the ground, right into the army, and just kill yourself and everybody there? Your dad's already
Well, it
dead.
jumped, right? She didn't.
Well, no, I mean the
I
army
was
is
mad at
still. Go ahead. The army is still down there, and they're spread out. They're not all in the same place.
Yes.
They're in 2 separate locations. So, like, even if she took out one group of army, the rest is gonna take out her family. I mean, I understand. I hear what you're saying, and I support that. There should have been some other way. I was honestly rooting for the Huntress because I thought that her cause was just.
I like Farrah.
I liked Farrah. I liked Farrah a lot.
I was annoyed. I was like, Farrah, they should have been.
He was
killed
irritated.
Farrah. All them opportunities they could have killed Farrah. I'm like, why are you like you? It's so funny, man. If my son was in, he would tell you I was screaming at the television.
Like,
I'm like,
Farrah.
she's right
I
there.
agree.
Just
I agree.
kill her.
I agree. I
Just-
agree.
I'm like throwing stuff. That's when I was so mad. I was like, this is trash. It almost ruined the entire thing.
But-
because
Is it?
they kept letting
she
her
do her
live.
job? Or did she do her job? Because I didn't have any
Salvor?
emotions about
Salvor should have been
no
killed her. Killed her.
I agree with you. I'm not talking about Salvor. I'm talking about Farrah as
Farrah
a
did
villain.
her job. Yes.
Did Farrah do her job because you hated her? I was with you. I hated her so much.
But
why
she's
has no one
justified.
killed her? But she acted out her story. She acted her ass off. And
There
she
was no
irritated me so much. I wanted her gone. I was like, why can't you kill her? How many
But
times
you
y'all?
find out-
You should have just stabbed her. She was tied. You tied her up. You tied her up. Are you kidding me?
Let me interject here real quick.
you?
We got a full. We're at a mini meal right now for the cumulative rating. So now,
Sorry,
Sorry,
I
Randy,
think
sorry.
that Farrah,
I
I
took
think
us
that
off the
Farrah
rails.
Did her job? No, you were absolutely right. But like, I agree with both of you. I hated her, but I think I was supposed to hate her. I was supposed to feel this way.
Yeah.
Salvor didn't evoke any emotion in me whatsoever. I
She was
felt
like-
nothing.
My
I
biggest
wanted
thing
her
I don't know.
was
to
The
die.
high top fade evoked emotion to me. I was like,
Yeah.
who cut this
Yeah,
woman's
I was
hair in
more
the
mad at her
future?
hair than anything
Yeah, I
else.
was like, what's
I
going
was more mad at
on?
her
So
hair than
bad.
anything
At
else.
her hair, it just looked like
Yeah.
so the hairstylist
Like, what did
didn't
they
even
do?
I'm like, you
try.
ain't gonna
Just
say
didn't
nothing
even
to the
try.
stylist.
You're just
You
gonna
ain't gonna
let
say
them
nothing.
send you out
Her
there
black
like
mama just letting her walk around like that, and they said nothing.
Her mama's not black. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
but
That
still,
her,
she-
mom was-
but
her
it-
black daddy should have done something.
Her black dad, somebody should have said something about her
Man,
hair,
don't get
man.
me started about that wig. Oh man, I was
That
angry.
wasn't even a wig.
I was like,
her
what is
hair was-
Apple
that was
doing
her
here? Do they
hair.
not know how to
You
do
could
a
tell the
black
way it was
They did.
braided in.
Apparently.
That was her
No, it
hair.
sounded like the hairstylist was like, "Fuck it, give me a."
This
a
is what I've
rubber
learned.
band."
This is what I've learned. The main hairdresser,
away.
the hair supervisor
The
is
key
a
hair?
black male.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, he's a black male, and he did Star Trek too. He's did
Gail's
other.
hair wasn't terrible.
Yes, yeah. But so he's done Star Trek Discovery since season 1. However, the hairstylist was a white woman. And I'm
Discovery is terrible. Michael Burnham's hair is awful.
well, the
every
new haircut
season.
looks nice. The new
You're rocking the braids now, right?
no,
He's rocking the braids.
I bet she got rid of the braids now. She went to the
Oh,
perm.
if it's going
She
up
got the
in
perm,
episode
man.
1 and 2, she had braids.
I
I,
think-
don't know.
okay.
I have not watched any
I
of the
haven't
new
caught up yet. I
Discovery.
haven't caught up.
Yeah, in the
Discovery.
first 2 episodes.
But-
she
I
had
was too
braids.
busy being mad.
But
But
apparently,
we're talking
I put a
foundation.
post up. I put a post up on my socials. I was like, "What's up with white sci-fi not getting black women's hair right?" Right? I put it up on socials. You know, the usual suspects came and defended it. Like, "Oh, what do you mean? Blah 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 blah." And then all the black women I know that in the hair and stuff are talking about whose is wigs, whose weaves. Like Michael Burnham's, all her hair is wig. She had to cut her hair off. Apparently, Michael Burnham in real life had to cut her hair bald because they messed up her hair with the wig she
Oh.
had. Yeah,
Oh.
How you mess up hair with a wig?
because the way
What kind
they
of wig
glue-
is that?
I don't know.
This is a lesson I learned
Yeah.
on my first show.
And that's what-
You don't let them put glue in your hair. I let it
Yeah.
happen once, it'll never happen again. Ever.
So that was the thing. But yeah, I was just angry at her hairstyle. Like they could have done better than this.
Yeah, they could have done.
They
it.
They
could've
could have
done way
done. I
better than this.
believe that there was some extra hair in her kid and play. You know what I'm saying?
It was a perm.
but
First it
but
was
the
perm,
back part
and
of
she
her hair
rolled-
was.
and she did what's it called when you roll your hair back in the loop? It was like, what's that called? It's an
like
old
the
term
Gibson
from
girl?
60. It's like the
Gibson girl.
rockabilly. She had a rockabilly hairstyle
I was
with a
like-
braid and it parted on the side.
But it was
And half-
parted. Her hair
and
was
half
parted,
fade. Yeah, it's
and then
like-
it was braided in the back
She-
like some low
she
budget
had the
flat.
who's the
And I
main
was
singer
like,
in the 5
who
Heartbeats?
did this?
Eddie Kane.
Eddie
Nobody
Kane.
sing like Eddie
She had
Kane
Eddie
Jr.
Kane,
Eddie
she had
Kane.
dude. But wasn't permed
listen.
properly.
I was so bothered by her. I was
was
so
so-
bothered by her.
But
Like
so-
she ruined the show for me. That's when I fell off.
That's what
I'm not gonna lie. That's when it went to her time period, when it jumped 34 years, and I had to stick. I was like, "Where's Gail? Where's Raish?
yeah.
Well,
They
let's go
coming
back to
back?
the beginning.
Yeah.
Then. Let's
Can
talk
we
about.
just like go back? How did we get here? Who are these people? I
Let's
don't
talk about Gail,
her.
right? In our first introduction to her, she's a math whiz. She's a
I
math
loved
whiz
her. I
in
loved
this
every
bone
minute of
dunk
her.
planet, right? And she saw this
Syntax.
incredible
Drowned planet.
Yeah.
Syntax.
Syntax.
she's-
Yeah.
she
And she
saw
knew it
this
was
stuff.
drowning. She's like,
Yeah.
look.
And she
we-
tried to tell them fools it was drowning, but that's
But,
just like
hey,
black people.
They would
They
have
believe
killed her.
God.
If she'd have stayed there any longer, they'd have killed her.
Yeah,
They'd
they
have
would have
killed
killed her. She
Yeah,
pulled
they
the
would've
things
killed
out
her.
of her face so her parents could send her off.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let's talk about the.
Well,
let's talk about
she
our-
lost faith.
She lost all
She
the
lost
faith. Yeah.
faith.
Because
Well-
the guy that came to visit her parents, the professor, he was like, look, I've had enough. These books here that are on our ship that got us here. This is knowledge. We need this. It's like that whole race turned her back on knowledge. They did a Mao. That's a Mao move.
Nah,
Chinese.
it's
Yeah.
very like pertinent.
But
Like it's
they
damn
just
near
wanted to-
America.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
like
well, they
weird.
just wanted
no
to.
damn
They
near
wanted
it
to just
is.
have their faith. They just wanted
Absolutely
to leave.
American.
But here's the thing: is that like that's the misinterpretation of faith, because it's like it's that whole adage of like God. Okay, the man is drowning. God sends him a boat. He don't get on. I'm waiting for God. God sends him a helicopter. I don't want to get on. I'm waiting for God. God sends him something else. And I'm waiting for God. And finally, God took him home. He's like, God, you didn't send him. He's like, what you talking about? I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. I sent you something. I figured you
You
just
didn't
want to
get
come
on
home.
none of them. Yeah.
Well,
You
it's
know?
people.
Mhm.
It's people that are fanatical. That's what it's
Yeah.
about to me. The overarching story, because
Fanaticism.
the whole story to me is about belief. It is. Whether you're believing in some mythical man in the sky that makes the tides rise and fall, or you're on a water planet, or you believe in this man who deems that he has the ability to predict large scale movements in human populations, it's still a belief. And it's just a question of how much are you going to buy into it? And just like those people on the water planet who don't want to buy into the mathematics of rising tides and the waters and glaciers melting and all of that, and they just want to have faith, the same people that believed in Harry in the same way. Yeah. You know, it's like, and like they were all in, and even Harry was like, well, I mean, I got a general kind of idea, and it's a bit of a half truth. But people were fanatical and all in.
Yeah. And there are fanatics in science too, right? There are fanatics in science that follow things too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me talk about this.
Exactly.
Hold on. People want something to believe in.
Yes.
They want to be able to put themselves in someone else's hands or in someone that they believe has knowledge, as opposed to either seeking it themselves and or learning to ask questions. And anyone who asks questions is like, no, you're going to make me feel something. You're going to make me seek something. You're going to make me, it's creating this fear. And it's really all rooted in fear. And that's the same thing that I think happened in that on that planet of Syntax, because here's a girl who bought in. She was totally invested when the professor told her, when she was like, she tried to get him to leave. And he was like, here, take this book. It's going to be here for you. I'm saving this for you. Because you are our final hope. You have to believe this. You have to try. Just at least research. And that's what she did. She didn't believe him, but she did look at the books. She looked at the books he told her to. And that for them was a sin, that you looked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay in ignorance.
Right. And I thought what's her name's father had a really good explanation when he was explaining to her really young about like where the humans come
Dude from The Wire.
Yeah. I was gonna say Lester, but that's not his name.
Yeah. He'll always be Lester. Always, no matter where he plays.
He was talking about, you know, we follow our logic, but sometimes, you know, we have emotions too. And there are times where our emotions override our intellect, and it can cause problems at times, or vice versa. I thought he did a good explanation of talking about people, how you trust in faith and how you trust in logic, and like any kind of out of balance of either can be bad.
Let's be honest. This is not a sci-fi show whatsoever. Science is like magic.
Political.
It's science. When they talk about science and math, it's like another word for magic. They don't explain the mathematics. They don't explain they don't explain the physics or how things work. It's kind of Star Warsy. It is a space fan. It's a space opera.
You didn't think though that Sheldon's like? I mean, I don't know. He came up with
the book is a little more grounded in science. A little more. Isaac Asimov's
I think
book.
It didn't want to be too heady for people.
But yeah, I think that's what it is.
That's really big in science. He didn't want to make this the sci-fi book. He wanted to make this a space opera.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, it's fan fiction and foundation too as well. So, you know, it's to make it a little bit easier to digest for everybody else. Yeah. The grand sweeping ideas of foundation are there, but this is something different.
But Harry, the pilot was wonderful. The pilot I thought was very well written. I was it hooked me. Honestly, those first 2 episodes I binged those 2. I went back to back with those 2 because it was so well done. And you know, and this is stupid. This is totally stupid. And I acknowledge it's stupid what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know, when I really lost faith in the show?
What's that?
There was a moment when, what was her name? Azora or Azor, the little girl that the new Brother Dawn fell in love with. Azora. Yeah.
He got honey potted.
Wait, when they hooked up for the first time, and it's what year is it? 2731. It's 2731. And this bitch still got on the same damn bra that we wear in 2020.
You may mention that.
2021.
No, it's like 10,000 years into the future, right? And
But that latch
is still on there.
I'm still wearing a fucking underwire.
You were so mad.
I'm still wearing an underwire.
I guess I missed.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Like she had to reach behind her back and unclasp her damn bra.
That was weird. I thought that when you called it out, I saw it and I was like, oh, that's weird. But nah.
It's so weird. And you make a point, you make a camera action. You made a choice as the director. I'm gonna make this moment because I think this is so sensual and sexy. And meanwhile, I'm over here like, it's 2731. It's like 12,000 and something. And you trying to tell me bras haven't evolved?
It'd been nice if she hit, like she pulled on the shoulder and it just disappeared.
And it just disappeared.
Yeah,
like this shit is just like it's just like
that would have been dope.
What?
Yeah.
Even gals, even then I thought about even Gail running around in the damn sports bra. You mean to tell me y'all have bras? Come on, man. Now
Yeah.
Gal's sports bra was
Hey,
real
I
cute.
guess that was
I'm not
women
gonna
got to
lie,
look.
but come on.
What women got to
But-
look forward to,
but-
you know.
In 20, yeah, we still
So
be wearing underwires.
So let's talk about the Empire, right? We have to
Women
understand
lost
that
me.
we had
Let's talk
5.
about Sheldon though first.
Sheldon,
Before we
okay.
get into the Empire,
Okay.
let's talk about Dr. Sheldon. You know, he invites
Harry.
Gail there to set her up.
Set her up.
I
Yep.
thought that was fucked up.
That
I
was
really
fucked
did.
up. That was fucked
I'm
up.
Yeah,
interested to
and
get
to
you
get her
guys'
arrested.
opinion.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was fucked up but brilliant. I
Yeah.
was like,
I mean,
it was fucked up, but I was like,
And he was expecting
damn,
her
well
to turn on
played.
him too. He was expecting her to turn on him.
Oh, I would have. I would have been like, oh yeah, he lying. All this shit. I got mathematical equations to prove all this shit raw. Yeah, I'd have snitched all on Dr. Sheldon.
And she didn't do it. Like everything he predicted was failing him. Like he predicted that she would snitch on him, and that he would.
yeah,
die, she would
that's the
take
thing.
over
Like he had a
reins.
lot of misses, but
He had a lot
you know,
of
he had some
misses.
plot armor. He had plot armor in the fact that they said he can only predict large scale. He can't
predict
do
the
it on
small
an individual
microns,
level.
yeah.
But it was a lot of individuals that could absolutely unravel all of the larger plot points that you would have thought, you know, he would have had a better contingency plan for. I mean, he's self-righteous, he's arrogant, he thinks he's the smartest person in the room.
Yes.
But he's also our hero per se. And truth be told, he's an asshole.
I don't think he's the hero. I think he's the Morpheus. Gail was.
I
still the
agree with
hero.
that.
He's the
I think he's the.
Morpheus.
I think he's
He's
the
the
Morpheus.
guide. He's the guide.
But how soon did y'all figure out that was Gail's daughter? Because I figured it out immediately.
Immediately. I thought the whole show.
Oh,
Oh, you're talking about in the first
Salvor.
episode? You
Salvor.
figured
The
it
first
out?
time
Mhm.
first time she showed up, I was like, oh, because I knew when they took her made a point to show me a whole scene where they're taking women's eggs and zygotes of babies that have already been made, but don't want them to be born on the ship. You had a whole conversation about this girl, this random woman who is pregnant but doesn't want to give up her baby. Why are we having this conversation? This is foreshadowing. Okay, so that's her baby. Totally.
There was something
didn't.
there. I just didn't know if it was the daughter. I don't
knew
know.
it was
I
the
didn't get that
daughter.
until a little late.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was the daughter. I knew they were linked.
Yeah,
I knew they were
it was
linked.
some kind of link.
And the thing is, I didn't know exactly how much time, how big of the time
Me
gap
too.
it was. So I was
It's a lot
like,
of
is
jump.
this 100 years?
Right.
Is this 30 years? Is this 1,000 years? I'm like, I didn't know. So I figured that they might have been related, but I didn't know exactly it was going to be the daughter though. I didn't see.
And it was
that
a
one
little
coming
weird
100%.
how Gail just disappeared. I was like, where Gail go? Like, I
It
was
was
like,
very
where's she?
upsetting.
What happened? I was like, it was just weird to me. She just disappeared for such a
Yeah.
long stretch of time.
It
I
was
like,
jarring. I was like, when are we gonna get to her? I started
Yeah,
like
Salvador
going in
is
the
not
internet.
interesting.
I was like, when are we gonna deep dive? I did a deep dive because I was like,
Yeah.
if she's not coming back, I'm quitting.
it was weird.
Well,
So
and
I was
then
like,
when they did bring her back, it wasn't a lot of. It was just all talk. Like
It was, with her.
there wasn't a lot of stuff happening. It was just her on the ship and let me off
Mhm.
this ship. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Her remembering that she's
Yeah.
actually intelligent and like figured out
Yeah.
like
She's making bad
bypass all the
decisions.
computer stuff. And I'm like,
It
you
was-
mean to tell me you are this smart and you can't figure out a password? I mean,
Oh,
great, you
yeah.
did all this like
she could map the solar system, but she couldn't hack a
couldn't get a
password. It was
you
like,
know this
yeah.
man. You know this man. You know your boyfriend.
Yeah,
Your boyfriend
right.
put you on this ship. Your name is probably the password.
Right, and you're
Yeah.
You didn't
literally,
even try.
she's literally mapping out the solar system. Literally, like
She's
figuring
mapping
it out
out
from
human
nowhere.
history.
Right, and she just
Literally,
couldn't.
and
you
Yeah,
can't
I was
figure
like,
out
you can't hack the
password.
password.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, because even in Star
I
Trek,
call
we talked about
bullshit.
Michael Burnham. Michael Burnham was able to hack the computer, you know,
And
word
couldn't
plays
do
and things like
Yeah.
that.
Michael
Yeah.
Burnham
She
knows
was Mary
everything.
Sue. She was Mary
Michael Burnham
Sue.
can figure out how to make the sun
Yeah,
blaze.
I thought Gail
Like-
was a very interesting character too, and then I found it kind of awkward. They made her. The reason she can compete with Harry in intelligence is because she has some divine power to predict the future. I was like, that
That was
whack.
bullshit. That was
was like, why don't
bullshit.
you-
Well, that was a part of
Yeah.
that magic that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Why
That
can't she
was
just be
part of the
smart? Why
magic.
can't she just be
Right,
smart?
right. That was bullshit. I call bullshit on that.
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I had
It's
a
like how
problem. Well, I didn't
superhero
have I
movies,
was like, it was weird.
black
You're
people
just gonna
can't just be
throw her a
black people.
superpower? I mean, we're in episode 9, and you're
Right.
just. I mean, yeah, you showed us in the pilot that she could stay awake during the jump. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
That still doesn't
Right.
constitute fortune telling. She
Yeah.
should have fortune told in somewhere earlier,
can-
so
she
that
can-
I knew
she can swim
that she
underwater
knew
for a
that
long
was a
time.
part.
she can swim in underwater for like 10 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
she ain't gonna go up for a breath.
No,
now.
she
What?
doesn't. She doesn't.
That's
not
what I
she
was
does.
when I was like, are lungs evolved in the
She's
future?
evolved.
Because she was
That's
underwater
what I charged it to.
alone. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
She because when she
No,
counts, she
I
counts
legit
prime
charged it.
numbers, right? And
I
she
get
counts
that,
prime.
but I
40
can count all
links.
the prime numbers I want to. I'm still gonna drown if
But
I'm
she
under.
does
Like,
That's what Harry said. You go 40 links underwater. So she goes 40 links across Olympic pool, back and forth.
Mhm.
I mean, she grew up on a water
Okay.
planet, guys.
She grew up on a
But
water planet.
can we talk about the fact that
Cool.
a friend of mine? Oh, sorry. I just want to say this one
No, go
point.
ahead.
Friend of mine pointed out that there's a lack of emotion in terms of like when problems happen. Like Gail doesn't emote. She's
She
emotionless. Like Salvor has nothing. She has nothing.
No.
But Gail doesn't emote. She doesn't have. I believed Gail. I believed her. I liked the actress. But it was a very interesting point that I realized. I recognized it immediately in Salvor. But I think I gave Gail a pass, thinking like that she was some sort of like scientific savant. I mean, borderline. You know, like
She's on the spectrum.
on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she is on the spectrum.
No.
superpower.
I think that's
She
part of
can
it.
predict the future.
Superpower. Or she just does.
Mhm.
I need them to stop casting androgynous people that don't know how to emote and have actual feelings.
But maybe is that the environment?
That
like,
is
in
the
future?
environment they're in too.
You know, it's like
Because
it's a
no,
kind of
hardly anybody
repressive regime.
emotes. You got to think
Yeah.
100 million people died, and people weren't just freaking out. Even when Empire,
true.
Yeah.
Empire went down into the city, he went 30 levels into the planet, and he was like, "This is the scar," and he sat there with the robot. He didn't emote at all. He
Right.
sat there and looked around.
I call it the environment that Empire
Yeah.
has created.
that's what
is
they
a very
did.
emotional,
The genetic
That's a good
dynasty.
point.
oppressive regime. You got to figure they don't even look at the real. Like in one part, they don't even look at the real sun. Like it's a program.
It's a
you know,
program,
The
yeah.
sky is a program.
When the sky bridge is up so high that it was
Yeah.
programmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like
They never saw the real space. They never saw the real space till the
Until-
sky bridge fell.
What are you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I think one of my biggest issues is just I couldn't get a good lock on time.
They time jump.
So if they didn't do it in a way that let me know specifically in reference to what. Okay, so the space bridge fell, and then it was like 30 years after
34 years.
that. It was 34 years. Okay, so then Sheldon was already in space, and it took them 50 years to get there, right? It took them like 50
It
years
took
to
them-
get to.
No, it took them.
it
When
was
they got
about
to
50, something
Terminus,
Like it was
it
like
took them-
3
Yeah,
years
to get to Terminus.
Terminus took.
No, it was longer than
No, it
30.
took
It was longer than
centuries.
3 years.
It took centuries.
No, it didn't take centuries. It didn't
Yeah,
No,
take
it
centuries
didn't.
to get to Terminus.
It didn't take
took, like-
centuries.
You sure?
It took like 50 years or something like that. I thought it was. I thought it was like 50 or something years.
I
But
don't know because everybody was awake, so like nobody ate.
see, and
No.
that's the thing.
No, they went to
I don't
sleep.
think it
So-
took that long. I think it took like
I
it
thought it
took
was
3
like
years.
3 years or something. Because they
I think it took
described it
3
in
years.
months. They said in like something
Yeah.
70 months or something like
Yes,
that.
right. They did. They did.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought
that
they
what it
described
They
it
did.
in
They
months.
did.
Yeah.
They did. They did.
Yes, that's why
Okay,
it had
so-
only been like because Gail, they were practically at Terminus when Raish killed Harry. They were practically there. They were like, I think maybe like 6 months away.
Okay, so then the time thing is still kind of weird with Selden, with Harry Selden, because his body goes out, but he's got nanites in his blood that allow him to survive and recreate his body
His
while he drifts
consciousness.
into space.
His consciousness.
Well, no, his physical body is still there, but his consciousness is being taken up by these nanites, and they rebuild and grow larger as they pick up particles moving across the galaxy. But then it's there, landed in its full form when all the original settlers of Terminus are already there. But I thought they said it was already there. See, you see what I'm saying? Like all of this time, like between Harry getting to Terminus, that version of him, and then how long Gal was gone before she took off to the other side of the galaxy on some other random stuff. Then she
Yeah.
went to sleep for like another 130 years. But
Yeah.
then maybe 30 years before she shows up, Salvor is already there. And then it's like
Salvor is
the
there because
time
Salvor
is
was
just-
Salvor was in a ship. She took a spaceship to
well, we
talking
don't
about
know
the
that
end?
full story. We know that she
Wait, what are you
leaves, and the
talking
next
about?
thing you know, she
Syntax.
wakes up and
When
she's on the
Salvor
water
woke
planet.
up at Syntax.
Oh, and she's been there 100 years.
She's
She's been there over 100
over a
years.
century.
But was it 100?
Yeah,
okay,
that's
so
what
it's
she
over
said.
100
Yeah,
plus
she
The
said
years.
gal says you've been here over a century. She's been there for like 131 years.
131 years. Incredible.
That's the reason she didn't ask her boyfriend to go, although he doesn't age because he's Thespian and was a young man on Thespian when that planet was blown to hell, kind of like Anacreon, and yet he's only looks like he's maybe 25, 30. So the odds are good that his ass is still alive somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, to time, and then I don't know how many variations of the Brother Dusk's Brother Man, because on one it seemed like it was the 17th iteration, but then if you look at the statue of the busts of heads, it goes on like forever.
Yes,
and I'm like, that's a lot of different renditions.
It's like 4 centuries.
400 centuries. It's a long time. The genetic dynasty's been in power for forever.
For 400 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
so it's just
let's talk about the.
Well,
see, that's what I'm saying. It's just time is just throwing me.
Well, robot is like 12,000.
The robot is like
10,000 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand her at all.
And she's the only survivor of the robot war.
Yeah, because they killed all the robots off. Yeah.
Right.
And she's the last survivor.
Yeah,
and somehow she's gained sentience, we think, towards the end. Like, it's just time. That's the thing that's jacking me up, man.
She's a dope assassin, though.
She is. She's dope all the way around.
Nice with it.
You already dead.
Yeah.
It was like,
there.
Like it was in the skin. You know, you go gently.
Well, let's talk about Empire.
Nice
So
assassin.
the idea behind Empire is the first one over 400 years ago. He decided that he was, the best leader ever. So he decided to clone himself in generations, right? So
be no one.
He created the perfect system. Or there's three of them.
The concept is dope, though.
Yeah,
the concept is dope.
If you get the right leader, it's dope. So, like, imagine we get Martin Luther King for 500 years, right? We get him with Morehouse, we get him with I Have a Dream, and then we get him at the end, right? So we go. What happens though? We get Donald Trump.
That's how you do it. You gotta have young Martin.
Yeah.
I said Morehouse. He's in Morehouse.
No, you have to have a kid. You have to have a child.
He was 15 at Morehouse. Yeah.
See, that wouldn't work.
No, you have to have him
because
you born them, you raise them. So they raise each other.
Okay.
So brother Day raises brother Dawn.
Right. Okay.
And Brother Dusk he was one day Brother Dawn.
It's about
Brother Dusk is more of an advisor than
he's
an
advisor.
What about 15 years apart? Maybe about 20 years apart.
I'd say about 20.
Yeah, about 20 years. Yeah.
Shoot, maybe even
like
30
because
like
30.
Maybe like 30.
Because that man looks like he's like 60 or 70.
Yeah, they raised Cleon.
I think that's kind of a dope idea, right?
Well, yeah. As far as like the storytelling of it is awesome. I was like, well, that's a cool way to run a kingdom and an empire that I've never seen done before.
They're
so
all
I was
identical.
With it. Yeah.
So you raise them all to be identical. It's really interesting how they did it.
Yeah.
So all the mutations, they kill them. And then they pull out one of the other ones they have on the shelf.
That's just chilling.
They're just chilling.
So they grow.
On standby.
They grow like
at
least two of them. Yeah, they grow at least two of them, and one of them grows in the petri dish, and the other one gets to like live. And I guess they like download the lessons and shit.
They download everything that one's learned. Yeah, they download it.
Yeah, that's what they said. Like it's recorded in his head, or the nanites recorded, or whatever it is.
Yes.
And then they upload them.
Yeah.
Then,
they just wake his ass up.
There's like bad boy glitch. It's a wrap.
The brother Dusk at the end was the brother Day in the very beginning of the series.
Was the little boy.
Right.
Yeah.
And the brother the brother Day, the brother Dawn at the beginning was the one that's how it goes. The brother Day at the beginning became the brother Dusk, and the brother Dawn at the beginning became Brother Day. Then the other guy came
because they killed Dusk, or they show him getting killed. I guess he reached his
original.
Yeah, he reached his period, and it was like, all right, we're gonna go evaporate your ass. Time's up, buddy.
It's so funny. So Brother Dusk goes grabs the new brother. The Brother Dusk grabs the new Brother Dawn, and this is what he said. There's something different, something wrong.
Yeah,
and she says, don't worry about that. So the robot is setting all this up. She sets all this in motion.
I think she was the one that spoiled the base.
I think so too.
Because it's all around now, like all of it.
Because she's the one constant. She's the one constant between all of them.
Yeah. And to me, like if I was one of them when she killed, even though he was weak, when she killed the youngest one, which is brother.
Mhm.
She didn't hesitate.
Brother,
She
brother
nice
No,
Don.
did not pause.
Right. When
At
she
all.
can do
She-
that,
she's
I
like,
said
"Yo,
to
this is too
myself,
much
hold
conversation."
up, hold
Done.
up. What is it in your programming that distinguishes a fake one from a real one?
It's
Because
not
if you
fake, it's
kill
flawed.
a fake,
It's
right.
flawed.
It's
a flawed one from a real one. So what in your program distinguishes that?
She made a decision based on how he behaved when he was with Azura.
Agreed, but she still killed one that looks the same as all of them. In
Yes.
my mind, I'm thinking she could do that to me.
But
Yes,
her job
but she
is
does
to
it. She
protect
does it.
Empire.
She, that job
Agreed.
is
let
to
them.
protect
She
her.
gave
She
them
has one job.
She has one job.
one job.
So they
Right.
think that
But how does she make that?
distinction?
How does she distinguish that?
Because he's a flawed to the Empire.
How does she know that?
Because he's different.
'Cause he
She knows
admitted
he's
it.
colorblind.
He admitted it.
Right.
He's
So he
colorblind,
has to admit it.
left-handed, and they already know
Yeah,
that
so he's
activist,
different.
Agreed.
that
But if
group,
she doesn't,
Oh,
But they
have
dog.
corrupted it.
Wait
she
a minute.
doesn't know
Oh.
that.
She does
I'm
know
sorry
that.
about to
They
get off
say
the
Does
subject,
know that.
but
she does know that.
Just let me
she
write
knows
this
that.
down.
They
so I
all
don't
know that. Huh?
Yeah.
No,
But my
no, I was
thing
just
is
thinking
like-
about the most gangster moment. In
So
the
she
entire
does
show.
know
Things like
that.
how
I
did
gotta
she?
save it.
She does know that. They
So
all
when
know
she,
it. At that
so
point,
when her program says it immediately, if there's a flaw, she can kill them.
no,
No,
because
she did it
had
because
to-
they were
otherwise,
arguing.
They did it.
No,
because
but
they
her
were
programming
arguing.
is to serve Empire 100%.
And she did it. That's the first time they ever seen her do that. That was the first time
Right.
she's ever killed
So
one.
what in
We
her
think.
program allows her to kill
We
one of
think.
them?
Because
it was flawed.
Brother
He's a
Dusk
flaw in
How did
and
she-
Brother
Empire.
Day were fighting each other. And
Yes,
they're
they
fighting
were
each other.
fighting.
And she realized Brother Day is showing weakness to Brother
Yes.
Dawn. And
He was
so
going
in
to
order-
let him
He's
live.
going to let him live. And,
Yeah.
and she
Mhm.
The
realized
mutation.
letting him live actually is
going to ruin the monarchy.
Empire, ruin the monarchy.
So
Because
she
there
can
was a
kill one
really-
of them if she feels there's a flaw in them.
Yes.
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 Well,
Right.
because they
they usually
decided
kill
they
them.
were flawed. They
They
decided that there was a flaw. Now
they
that
decided
the
a
other
flaw.
Brother Dusk is the one that sussed out all of this.
Mhm.
Brother
Yes.
Dusk is the one that found out that he was colorblind, that he was left-handed,
Mhm.
that there were differences in the way
Yeah.
that he ate, in the way that he thought, and all the conversations that they had. He was different.
Yeah.
And he
Mhm.
brought this to Brother Day's
And they had
attention.
the Shadow Master.
And Brother Day
following
was
him.
going to let him live.
Yes.
And
that's
Brother
Yeah,
Day
but
was-
And the computer
that
kills
to
him.
me.
But here's the thing, Randy. If what you're saying is that she just decided that he was flawed and she was gonna
She
kill
was
him.
supposed to be
She'd have
killed.
done it before he even got to the room.
Yeah, she's supposed to kill him.
She would have done it before he even got to the room.
Because he told Azura, if they found out I'm flawed in any way, they'll replace me with one of these.
Right.
So, but
And-
Brother Day was going to kill him.
No, Brother Day
No.
was not going
No,
to.
was going to let
Brother Day was
Brother
not
Day
gonna
was
kill
going to let him live.
Yes.
Yes.
So how did she
And you can't
decide
do
which
that.
one to go with?
She's for whatever's the best interest of the Empire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
How,
whatever's the
so
best
she
interest.
made what was best
She
for the
made a
Empire on her
decision, yes.
own determination.
She's a sentient robot. She still has.
been making this decision for the last
Yeah.
11,000. They think they're in control, and they're not. They
She's in
never
control.
have been.
So that's what I'm
That is
saying.
the
Yes.
thing. That's
She's
the
in
big
control.
thing.
She's
All
in
three
control.
of them really think that they
And
run
they've
it,
not
but
noticed
they
that she-
really
right.
don't.
Don't realize
They really
that.
They don't.
They
Right.
don't.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they're not putting it together
They're not
that
putting it
she could
together.
kill one of them. And when she sees them kill one
No.
of them, to me, that would have sparked something.
No,
her allegiance is to the original empire.
yeah, Cleon.
That
one.
is her allegiance.
Yeah.
So now we have to wait and see in season 2. I don't necessarily. I'm leaning towards the idea that she's the one that has corrupted all of this, but I also
think so.
don't necessarily know that it is her. I would like to see when she finds out and discovers that the pot has been contaminated.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
want to
her.
see her
And-
reaction.
We don't
it's
know
her.
when the pot got contaminated.
That's what
Exactly.
I
That's
think
the
it's
other
her.
thing
point.
we
I
don't
think
know.
it was her. I think it's her testing to see what works.
because
And that's
because
the thing.
because Day is corrupted too, and we assume that not Dawn, but Dusk,
Dusk.
maybe.
yeah,
maybe.
Maybe.
No,
But I
maybe,
think
yes.
Dusk is still pure.
Yes. Well, we don't know because Shadow Master came back and said we're not sure this could have been going
Yeah,
on.
we're not
when
sure.
it happens.
They're doing
I don't
the
know. You know
ectoplasm
Might be doing
test now.
centuries.
I think Dusk is the only original because there's two things. One, we got a chance to see Day say that I loved this person who is my clone like my son, and I
Yeah.
don't think any of the other clones have
I
done
think
that.
had to
I
do
think
when he
that's a
went to that
flaw.
planet too. I think he went to that.
I think
planet
it's a
too,
flaw.
And he didn't.
I mean,
see
yeah,
him.
his
Well,
whole march
Yeah,
on
and
the
then
spiral.
him
And I think she
leaving the
set him up
planet
to do the
to
spiral.
go march on the spiral is another flaw.
But
So
that's what
I
she
think
did, though.
another
That's
because
deviation.
no other
No
version,
other
no other
Cleon.
Cleon
Left the planet.
has ever left
Yes.
the planet
Exactly.
They
ever. That's
they
a
never left the
flaw.
palace. They never left the
And
palace.
Dusk told him
Yeah.
he didn't want him to go. He's
Yes.
like,
He
I
did.
don't
He
want you
said
to
you
leave.
should not leave.
So that's why I said I
Yeah.
think Dusk is the last of the originals.
The last of the originals. Yeah. I mean, and he's like, he's relentless with it. Like he was like, yo, you're gonna knock down our star
Space-
system. I'm
space
annihilating
bridge,
all of y'all planets.
half your
He
planet.
has no emotional
No,
attachment. Yo, and the way that he revealed to
Azora.
to
To Azora.
Dark.
Yes.
No,
yes.
Azora,
That
was
Day.
mine.
That was I love that. At the very end.
The way
Day
he
came-
did to Dave, he was like, he made the whole
all
wall.
of them gone.
All right, guys.
All
Let
of
one
them,
of y'all
all
talk.
of the
Y'all talking over
colorblindness,
each
and
other.
he was like, which one of these fish is the thing? And he couldn't see it because it was painted with the same color that he was colorblind with. I thought that was brilliant. I was like,
Yes.
oh, I know you can't see, homie. You
know you're
flawed. I know
colorblind,
how many of them things you caught because my homeboy probably told me.
Oh, yeah.
He knew all of that stuff. He was like, you just wait till Day
But-
show up.
Well,
I'm
for
spilling all the
me-
beans.
Yes.
For me, when Day came in and he brought Azora up out of her prison
Oh,
and
that was
sat
the
her
most gangster
down.
moment ever. That's
Yes.
what I was
and
writing
sat
down.
her down
Yes.
and went through how everybody she knew, everyone she had been related to, every one of her fucking neighbors.
Yes.
The way
Her first
he
boyfriend,
went,
she lost her
her
virginity
first
to.
boyfriend, she lost
Everybody-
her virginity. Everybody who
Erased them. He said,
ever had
erased
any connection to her, he was like, "Wait for it, dude. Oh, they're all gone.
And then we're going to
like-
keep you alive. We'll keep you
Keep you
sedated.
alive.
Yeah, we're gonna
in
keep your
darkness
consciousness alive. That's
Yeah,
it.
conscious.
forever.
But you will be
I'm gonna
aware
put you
of
into your
everything.
dreams, and you're gonna lose. You're gonna go into sleep
Forever.
deprivation. You're not gonna go to sleep at all. You're gonna be in a deprivation tank. You can't feel anything, can't hear anything. You're gonna
But
be
you're
lost in your
aware.
own thoughts. You're aware that
Yeah.
I killed everything connected to you.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
And then it was
Forever.
it was
He
the
did this. He did this.
It was
I
Is
was
it
like,
all dead?
oh,
I gotta
I
say-
thought that was
I'm
dope.
sorry,
Gangster.
that was
that
the
was so
dopest
cold.
torture assassination
Yes.
I have seen in a very
Yeah, I
long
know-
time,
yeah,
and
I
it
know
was so mirthless,
Yes.
like legitimate.
So
It
you'll
wasn't
know
merciless,
what you
He-
took
it was
from me.
mirthless.
He said there's
without mirth.
873
Like-
people, and then there was another. He said
And then there's
700.
yeah,
700.
150, 1,551 people. I
He
think
did
it was something
this.
like that.
Yep, he did just like that. Killed them all. That's ever been in contact with you. You shook the hand of so and so walking down the street. You're supposed to kill everybody that she's ever been
Your
in contact
teachers that you ever were
Every
involved
teacher.
with, who'd you like,
with. All
yeah.
their kids,
their
all
neighbors.
their relatives,
Your
their
entire
neighbors.
existence. I'm gonna erase your existence.
Erase your entire existence. He erased her entire
and
footprint.
then keep you alive. And she's like young. She's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
what?
that's what I'm
25.
saying.
He's gonna
She
feed
gonna
you
be-
intravenous and keep you alive
Yeah.
forever. You're
Yes,
gonna deal with it
keep you alive forever.
forever.
You're gonna get the world's best health care.
Yep.
It's a hell of a healthcare player, right?
Yeah.
I was like, golly, that is worse than death.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
worse than death.
Wow,
That,
it's
that was like the
worse
best.
than death.
That was the best
Yeah.
scene. That was the best scene I
That was
seen.
the best
Yeah.
scene in the
I was like,
whole
that's what made me
series.
want to give it a full meal. And I said, "There's the one scene that made me want to give it a
That
full
scene
meal."
right
It was
there.
that
You're
scene.
right. You're right.
And-
that
and-
scene.
And
ugh,
also,
it made up for the bra scene.
and no, I also like when Demerzel was talking to brother Don when he was a kid, with baby, and she was raising him, and before he became brother Day. How loyal he is to her. Like she's peeled off her skin to show him when she healed herself. And he was like, "What happened to your kind?" She's like, "Y'all killed them off.
Yeah, killed him. I'm the last one.
I'm the last
And then
one."
you contrast that with the last scene though, with her ripping all
All her- 'cause she-
her
'cause
flesh.
she-
Because she's
because
tired of wearing that
yeah,
man suit.
right,
She's tired of
right.
wearing the man suit. It's
Right.
like I think she came to terms also with what she is as well.
Yeah.
But she may still
And
have a
she-
soul because she took the journey and did have
She
a
said
vision.
she had
She had a
vision.
vision,
So-
which they
She had
didn't
a
have a
and when
vision.
she
So
told
she
him
may have a
That's
soul.
the worst thing that
Yes, and
could
he
ever
I
wish
wouldn't
on
wish
you
that
anybody.
on her.
understand
Worse
he
than-
loves her too. 'Cause
Oh yeah, he absolutely loves
he
her.
loves her too, and she loved brother Don, the new one, and she killed. I think that's why she ripped it off, because she was like, "Oh my God, I had killed him. I killed another one I loved, but I had.
I
to kill
loved
him.
her conversation with the black woman, the black priestess.
Oh man, boy, that conversation was so good.
It was so powerful.
It was so powerful.
Everything about that episode was good, I thought. When the black priestess was giving her speech, and then the robot, I forget her name, she had to bow down right in front of Brother Day. I was like, oh wow.
That was a gangster move too, because she showed did.
Yeah.
She was like, "This is my faith, though. I told you." But she told him before she got off the plane. She was like,
"She said, don't get off the plane.
No, she was like, I don't want to go with you. She's like, I need to stay here and let you do you, because I will be a hindrance to you. I will cause a problem." She knew, but he was like, him and his arrogance.
He trusted her.
Can't leave without you. And he was like, I'm trying to tell you.
And how she got his loyalty.
You don't want to listen.
So I think when she killed Brother Don, she received Brother Dust's loyalties all over him. Brother Day, she's like, I protected you again. Because you think
I don't think she give a fuck about none of them.
She don't give a fuck about him. It's a setup. This is all a setup of her preparing to destroy the dynasty. It's like, you killed all my robots. You killed all my people. You killed all of them. Kept me alive to serve you. I was on one. So this is the way I get you. It may take me centuries to get you back, Cleon #1, but I'm gonna get you.
Playing the long game.
Because she's playing the long game. Because they were like, how did you make this other one? When he talked to Azura, I was like, how do you make this other one? It's like, we had somebody on the inside give us genetic coding.
Yeah. And so somebody on the inside is
Demerzel's the only one that can deal with the
so I'm thinking, because she's the only one that's allowed in the vault.
She's the only one allowed in the vault.
She's the only one that's allowed in the cloning vault. So
yeah, that's why she told the old man, you can't be down here. Yeah,
can't be down here. Yeah,
get out of here.
Yep. And Shadow Master's pretty dope too. I like him too.
I don't even know when he popped up. First time I saw him was when he just showed up with those daggone pheasants.
Yep.
When else did we see him?
So I think she set this whole plan in motion, and she's just playing a long game. Like, I'm genetically changing each of you all to make y'all different.
Yeah,
you all been the same for too long, and I realized this breaks.
If she's
everything.
making them genetically different,
and this is what is the problem with humanity.
She can just kill them; they could kill each other.
This is what problem with this world is. This world can't grow because you're not growing. You're not changing.
So if I change you all, y'all meet each other. Y'all gonna fight. If y'all are identical, y'all just follow along. You just follow suit. Now, but I'm changing you all.
While that is true, they did kind of beat that theme into us a lot, that the reason the world is not growing or changing is because empire remains the same.
Yes.
They said it on the planet down, the religious planet. That was Dr. Sheldon's thing. Like they said that thing repeatedly throughout the series. I thought they beat it in us just a little.
Because empire is God in this world.
Well, I think that I think you kind of have to, like, in the sense of like he's been there for 400 years and his dynasty is built upon himself.
Yeah.
And his own understanding of the world. Like I mean, it's not that they beat it into us. This is that he's always there.
Yeah.
And we're always rotating a new version of him. So it's like it is.
That's the most arrogant shit ever. That is like
ever.
But only a white guy can come up with some shit like that. I'm sorry, dog.
Never quit me. I'm here forever.
The last Cleon, the Cleon they killed. So the Cleon they killed is Cleon. It's 14. Cleon 14.
Okay, so hold on. So two things that I noticed. Number one, right up there with the bra clasp. Why were those damn color contact lenses? Why did they look so brutal? Like, I mean, why couldn't you just
I was wondering, like, why couldn't they just have something you just put into your eyes or something?
Yeah.
Like, they're like Geordie LaForge, just a big visor. Like, why couldn't they come up with something a little better?
Again, 2731 couldn't do something better? Like, what's happening? And then my second realization is that if it all does come down to Demerzel, then that in and of itself is super religious, considering that it all comes down to Eve. Everything always comes back to Eve. That Eve would be the downfall. The woman would be the downfall. That's kind of.
But is this a downfall? If we break this
Mary,
monotony,
she's the mother.
We're breaking the wheel. I mean,
she's the mother.
It's either that or Mary. I mean, either way you look Mary at it. I mean, she's like,
Yeah, because after 400 years of the same person, that's
400 years of the same person, you know, and even like, but we know what I thought was entertaining was when Salvor who was it that told the story? The truth. Oh, Harry. When Harry came back and was like, do you guys even know why Thespian and Anacreon are even fighting anymore? Do you even
Yeah.
know?
I thought that was
And he
beautiful.
was like, I thought that was so beautiful. He was like,
yeah.
it started out like Cleon. Cleon wanted you all to fight. He couldn't
Right.
have y'all
And-
making bread, breaking bread,
Bread
and
with each
becoming
other.
joy. You couldn't. He couldn't
Yeah.
He
have
saw
you.
this
we
fall of the empire.
rising
They
against
foreshadowed that
me.
earlier when they were talking about history. It was like
Mhm.
history is about characters, it's about the narrative and all that. And we literally get to see how history is distorted
And
it
warped.
changed. These two empires are battling with each other, and all they're doing is empowering Cleon.
So
Yeah,
Yes.
that was.
So the question is, who took down the Star Bridge?
We still don't know.
We don't know. All we
It
know-
could have been the planets, though. It could have been them.
It
Because
might not.
remember, they did have the religious chants on both sides before they pulled the explosives out. Because that was their one piece of evidence when they had the trial, the court
Yes.
trial, or whatever
That
it
could
was.
have
They're
been
like,
the
well, you
show.
said this, whatever the chant
But it could have
was.
been. It could have been set up to make it look like because they were the easiest targets.
That's
to
like
maybe
me
have.
going
Empire. I was gonna say
into-
maybe
that's like me
Empire and
going
them did it to
downtown,
create
going,
fear.
Hadim Akbar, Assalamu alaikum, and blowing up.
See,
blowing
it could have
myself
also
up.
been Harry.
They've been like, yeah,
It could have been Harry. It could have been Harry.
It
It
could
could have
have
been
been
Harry.
Empire though
Harry.
to
It could-
create fear and
It could
panic.
be. It could have been Empire.
Yeah, to go in and kill those planets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you eliminated, and it was so cold.
He
It
killed
was
half
so
of each
cold.
population. He
Because
Because
killed
at
half
first
of
I was
them.
like, "What? They got a Death Star? Like, what are we doing here?"
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't know either. And I was like, what's
Yeah.
going on? And then
And
they
then
started
they
launching.
saw
I
all
was like,
those ships.
that's a
I was
lot
like,
of
And what
missiles.
made it bad was brother
Well, you know
brother
what?
Day at the time, who's brother Dusk, was like, I
Mhm.
want to believe you out. I believe you, but I still got to do this.
Well, he said,
Yeah,
"Unless
and
you
it
give me
could have
something
been
better."
the Invictus.
Mhm.
It could have been because why was the Invictus out there in the first place? You know, that ship that was out that
Mhm.
that gets stuck in its own loop, just continues to
Mhm.
jump, the
Jump.
ghost ship.
Mhm.
Why was the Invictus out there? Where was it
Which is
supposed to
an
be?
Empire
It's the
ship.
last
It was
of its
supposed to
kind.
be a planet killer. Yeah, it was supposed to be a planet
It's a
killer.
planet
That's what I
killer.
thought. Yeah.
So exactly.
And that's
So-
what they decommissioned it out of order, so nobody couldn't find it.
I think
Maybe.
somebody set that up to be decommissioned.
Well, remember,
Yeah.
it was a coup on the
On
the
the
ship. It was a mutiny. It was a
Yeah.
mutiny on the Invictus.
yeah,
We don't know why there
Or
was a
who.
mutiny on the Invictus, but it was a mutiny.
Well, yeah, they said it had to do with after the ship got stuck because there was something within the coordinates that they couldn't stop the jump. The jump
Mhm.
happened every 23 days. There's something that got corrupted in the ship's computer.
So
And then when they couldn't control and they couldn't get off, they couldn't go anywhere. So they were stuck, and then they started turning into cannibals and eating each other and killing each other.
because they're going out to galaxies where there's no suns, where there's no
Yeah.
food,
So
the operating system ain't working. Yeah.
So Cleon won before the events of the show itself took place. He ruled for 400 years,
How did he rule for 400 years?
ruling some 400
he
years.
had them
before
vitamins.
The events of the series.
Push-ups, homie.
Yeah,
Well, if it's 400 years before the series, then that's about the succession.
it's 400 years. So,
So then he's in his 800th year, technically.
technically,
Oh, and his. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
'Cause they
if
said
Cleon
400
if
years.
Cleon first, the human
Mhm.
man ruled for 400 years, and then his clones ruled for 400 more years, that's 800. So what's the right story? Because I don't think that I don't think that he
Time.
ruled
That's
for
my
400
problem.
I
Is
years.
time.
And I thought you said it was 400 years before the
Time
story
is
takes
crazy.
place.
he is the first
That's
emperor
what
of the
Chuck is
genetic
saying.
dynasty, ruling some 400 years before the events on the
Right,
series.
400 years before the
I
series.
think
Before the
400
series.
years
Before
of
the
series.
Cleon total. I don't think it's 400 years
Right.
before. I think it's
Yeah.
400 total. Based
Right.
on what you just said, it's 400 total.
No,
Yeah, 400 years before the date of the series.
Before the
Before the
series
date
picks
of
up-
the series.
Before
So
the
yes, so
series
we're right
starts.
now, we're
Yeah,
at the
400
end of
years.
400. Right.
Yeah.
We're
we
about to start
understand
500.
We're 500 in because you got to send Sal took 100 years to get to the other planet.
That's
Exactly.
at the end, though.
Yes.
That's at the end.
That's at the
So
end.
if you
we're
said
400
Cleon
years.
Cleon the first is in a 400-year
400
dynasty.
years, yes.
Before the
That's
series.
before the series. So he's already 400
Okay,
and our series
that's true.
began.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true. That's
yeah.
true.
So
Yeah.
therefore, now
We're-
Salvor has jumped 100 years. Now we're in
Right.
year 500.
500,
Which
534
we would imagine in a lot of
years,
those-
'cause it's a 30
530 500. I think.
So we've got
31,
probably a new
34
Dusk
something.
and Day. We probably
Yes.
Yes, we'll have a new
in season
Dusk and
2,
Day.
if we have a season 2, we've got a new Dusk
Yeah.
and Day probably.
Well,
or
our
the fall
Dusk-
might have already happened, or the fall may have already
Mm.
happened.
That's a
And
good
now we're
we
starting
gotta
off.
see, like,
What are
who
we
is
doing
the-
after the
Harry
fall?
said the fall takes what, a couple of thousand years.
couple thousand years, but it
To
could be
fall.
sped up.
It started.
He said.
It started.
It could be sped
it could be
up if certain
accelerated,
things
yeah.
didn't happen.
Then they're gonna have a lot of
we don't. Yeah,
explaining
we
to
don't
do.
know. I mean,
Yeah.
syntax is done, but she told them syntax. She told them, and it was gonna, like, the high tide was gonna drown them. But here's my thing, and this is where my problem with Gail was. Was it a suicide mission? Did she just go out there to die and drown herself? Because
That's what I thought.
That she knew that there wouldn't be anyone there. That no one.
I think
would
she
be
gave
there.
up.
I think she
I think
gave
she
up
gave
as
up
well.
and she
So
wanted
too.
to die. She wanted to die on
Die
her
with
own
her
terms,
people?
Yeah.
and then she wanted to die at home. I think
Yeah.
she went home
Like
to
she
die.
told Harry, like, I'm not even supposed to be here. You said it. Let me go.
Yeah, because she didn't want to die in the middle of some random space
And she
adventure
didn't want to
for-
go back. and she
from
didn't think
somebody
she
that
could-
didn't give a care
Yeah.
about her and all that.
Right.
Right.
And she
With
couldn't.
his
She didn't
memory.
think she could go back to this foundation,
Right.
and she didn't want to go to the second foundation that he's apparently building.
Mm-hmm.
We
So
never
she was
got-
like, "I'm done."
what is the second foundation? Did we ever get?
We don't know yet.
I don't know. Harry's little weird spaceship
It's on his
planetary
birth. Yeah,
collector.
it's his birth home. It's
Yeah.
his birth home.
We gotta.
That looks like it's in the middle of a black hole. I'm like, nothing out there looks like it's livable.
Yeah, we gotta take everything Harry does with a grain of salt, man.
That's
He-
what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
a-
We don't understand why Harry wants to
He
take down
rem-
the dynasty.
Yeah. Now he reminds me of the Michael Fassbender version of him in
Mhm.
that new Alien series. Remember the new one? The one, you know what I'm talking
Prometheus.
about? Prometheus. That's
Yeah.
who he reminds me of.
You know, we
That's not a good compliment.
He's kind of a
Listen,
mad,
just
kind of a
saying.
mad
That's
scientist
exactly
thing
it.
going on,
That's
right?
Exactly
Like,
it.
yeah, the mad scientist.
Well,
Really, yeah, it's-
I think he's playing on religion. I mean, belief. And then, I don't think he has all the answers. I think he's got a good general idea, because he said the one thing he kept saying over and over again is, like, if you want to get a good idea of what the future is, you could look at your past. And I think he's doing that. He's looking at past events and seeing how things unfold. But does he really have the math to look and
Gail
see it
says he
all
does it.
unfold?
I mean, he didn't
Yeah.
even know who Salvor was.
And Gail
didn't even
says
know
it.
who
She's
he
like,
was. Like, who are
he's full of shit. He did a lot of the math, but he ain't got all the answers. There's a
Yeah.
lot of ways this could shift. He's full of shit. I ain't gonna say that to everybody, but yeah, he's making it up out here. All right,
He
guys,
is.
we talked about this ad nauseum, so we're gonna re-rate this. We started with you last, Courtney, so we're gonna start with you first. You gave it a mini
I
meal.
gave it
So
a mini meal,
how are you
and
gonna rate this time?
I mean, all my problems are still there, but there are certain things that I forgot about. I forgot about that death scene, that the torture death scene that he did. So for me, it's the writing more so than it is like I love the sets and the direction and stuff like that, but it's just the writing, the way that it's scripted. So I forgive a lot of the. I'm gonna give it a full meal. Because I was fluctuating between a mini and a full. So I'm gonna get the writing is what's gonna push me into the full, even though I have very serious reservations. I'm gonna go with the full meal, if for no other reason than that damn scene with Azura. That damn scene was so good.
It was so good. It was
So
like one of the
good.
best scenes I've ever seen on television. Like, yo,
Yo,
that may be the best gangster move of all time.
I
I'm
think
like,
Kaiser
that by
Sose was
itself-
the best.
It is.
It was so cool. He was
Yeah.
like,
He was
I
so
thought-
cool. You thought he
He's
was
about
giving
I
her
thought
Turn my
Usual
hand.
Suspects was the best,
And-
but I think that's got it right there, man.
He was so nice out. He was so nice with it though. He walked her outside. Walk with me.
Took her to a beautiful place.
Took her to a beautiful
Yeah.
place. Let her see the sunshine.
And I
feel
think
the
that-
warmth on her skin. Have
Right.
a nice seat and a bench, a beautiful bench.
and he's like,
Yeah.
he's
You
like
should
my
enjoy
son.
this.
You broke my son.
Yeah, and
He's
I
like-
think
he was like,
that's
you're
what
gonna
made
know
it
what
so
you took
cold.
from me.
Yeah,
Was
you know
how
what you took
was how
from me.
calm he was. Like if he was yelling and all of that, it
It
could
was-
have been. But he just played it.
It was
so
something Brother
calm.
Dusk would do.
It
Like, I would
was.
expect that out of Brother
I
Dusk.
would
Like,
expect that from Dusk. Like, and the scene with the birds, the scene with the bird when he was just like talking to him, gave him a
Mhm.
little hug. And then that fool put his little contact lenses on.
Yep.
And saw those extra birds
With
there.
your colorblind ass, your flawed ass out of here. You wait till
Like,
you
these
wait
are the
till
ones you
Yo,
caught,
let
right?
get back.
These
Yo,
are the ones you
left-handed
caught,
ass.
right?
You know what I'm saying? Look at you.
These are the ones you caught. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a section
I
just for you.
smell a fake.
I put you in my history.
Yeah, he sure
Brother
did
Dusk
because I
was
caught you.
no
I
joke.
caught the imposter.
No
I mean,
joke.
that's like the most beautiful way to catch a renege. It's like,
Yeah.
caught you.
Hey, wasn't the young version of him, Brother Don, when he caught the guy that was painting and he showed
Yeah.
up late and then he killed him? That was
Yeah.
Don before he turned into dust. So he been
Yeah.
gangster since
He's
the
been
word
gangster
go.
since
Yeah.
the very beginning.
Yeah.
The very
Yeah.
beginning. He's the one who
Yeah,
killed blew up
Dust-
half the planet. He's the guy that
Yeah.
blew up half the
Yeah.
planets.
Yeah.
he-
He's been gangster.
And with
don't
no
play, man.
remorse.
None. Like,
Like-
he looked
And
up
he
and was like, I know
told him.
y'all ain't do it, but I got to do what I
He
got
said,
to
unless
do.
you give
I
me
gotta
something
do it.
better, I gotta go with it, fam.
Gotta-
Unless you give me somebody better.
Yeah,
people
this is,
got to
this,
die.
this is what's going to have to happen.
And then the whole story about the why Anacreon and Thespian fighting, those bitches don't even remember why they're
Yeah.
fighting anymore. And then
He was
he
like-
told them the truth that it wasn't neither one killed the other one.
It was Cleon.
That it was really Cleon
Cleon killed
Yeah.
the wife.
who hired the
A
maid to
handmaid.
tell her husband, and then he are you kidding me? I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a full meal.
All right. So I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna keep mine the same. I still enjoyed the parts of it. It's a full meal. I wanted some more action. I thought we are gonna get a bigger battle scene, but I'm sticking firm with my full meal.
I thought you gave it a mini meal.
No,
I
he
gave
gave it a full meal.
You gave it a full meal? Okay.
Pay attention, sir.
Okay, my fault. My fault. I apologize.
I'm messing with you, man.
apologize.
Sintel, how you gonna rate it? You how you feel about it?
You know what? I actually came in here hoping that you guys could persuade me. I was, because I feel guilty of not enjoying it more than I should, given that there's just not a lot of opportunity for us to be seen in that light, you know, as people of color. So I went into it completely biased. And when the first two came out and I was like, all right, it's going to meet these expectations. We deserve this space, you know, and then it just kind of just middle row. So I was leaning on y'all and I was like, okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe my expectations set the bar too high. And you all can maybe change my mind a little bit. And I think you all have enough to make it a full meal, because it does have some really good moments in it. It's not like I said, it's not going to be the end all be all of sci-fi. It's not that. But if you want to, you know, a good, decent story that is entertaining and you want to see people of color, this is probably the best bet out. So I recommend it.
Cool. And we didn't talk about it much, but the look of it, like Apple Plus spent some money on this. Did y'all think?
Yeah, I thought
They
so
went into
too.
space.
Yeah, that's what I
Unlike
said. I like
Cowboy
the
Bebop.
sex.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna talk
Unlike
about
Cowboy
It's been
Bebop.
canceled, so we don't even need to talk
We don't even
about
have
it
to talk.
anymore.
It's like the show that shall not be named again.
Yeah, we don't even need to talk about it no more. all right, family. How you gonna rate Foundation?
I've been thinking about this. I want to give it a full meal, but it's just tough for me because we're down to 2 black people, and they happen to be mother-daughter, and one was not raised by the other one. And I'm like,
And she's still
He
black.
ain't lying.
I
though.
know it, but we down to 2 black
The
people.
She was
mother is
raised by a
younger than
black
the
daddy.
daughter.
Yeah,
Her daddy was
that's
black?
not
Yeah.
the issue. That's not the issue.
And the daughter
My
might be older
issue
than the
is
mother.
We got
Right.
a white robot. We got a white robot.
The daughter's older than the mother. That's fucked up.
We got a white robot, and we know we have 3 white kings, which can take over the whole entire story for season 2.
I hope we don't lose Lee Pace, because Lee Pace is doing a hell of a job.
I'm gonna give it a full meal, but we're down to 2 black people. That means if we go full white on this, like we did Warrior, we go full white like we did Warrior. I'm gonna take this down to a cringeworthy. Y'all heard it here.
Hey, I'm gonna take it too. If we go
y'all-
all
You know
white,
what,
I'm
though?
giving it
Yeah.
They
cringe
go
worthy. Yeah.
all white after this.
Yeah,
They
hey,
gave,
don't
they gave,
get it
they gave us
twisted.
the black season, and they go all white on this.
He gave us the
Yeah.
black.
And they go the Wire season 2. Remember
They-
they did the
yeah,
Wire
Wire
season 2?
season 2.
They was like, nah,
Trying
there's
to
too many
save the
black folks
show.
out there.
Yeah,
I'm taking it to the docks.
I'm going.
Yo.
I'm going.
Yo.
A place where black people don't even work.
Right.
You know. Black people ain't working
Because
in
they
no
can't
water.
swim?
They ain't in
'Cause they
no
can't
water.
swim?
You
No, they
put
don't
black
work on the
people on a
docks. All
planet.
the docks are controlled by like the white
people.
people in Baltimore and the unions.
Yeah,
That is
black people
so
really
funny.
work
We
I
go
didn't
to-
think about that they
Yeah.
put the
Oh, yeah,
black
they
people
work.
on a
Okay.
planet where they can't swim.
So
Where most
I'm gonna go with my gut with everybody else. I'm gonna give this a full meal, but I swear by bejesus, if they
I might
make this
co-sign
the
with you on that,
white
fam.
show for the second
I might
season, I'm going
co-sign
straight
with
to
you.
cringeworthy. I didn't have to watch it for that. I didn't have to
Hey,
watch the entire thing for that.
Where I am is December 16th, Thursday. I swear upon a stack or whatever that if they do the same thing, I'm with you, family. It's going straight cringeworthy.
Yeah.
We're gonna erase this off.
They better
and
clone
we're
some
gonna
black
erase this
people real
episode off
quick.
YouTube.
They
We're
better
gonna
clone
erase it
some
because
black
they changed
people.
it. We're
You
gonna put
drown
a
all
brother
the black-
gay. We're gonna put a
No,
brother
we're gonna
gay.
add an addendum. We're gonna add an addendum.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna
Previously
change
on
this
Binge
rating.
Worthy.
I'm gonna
Right.
change this rating.
Right. We're gonna do a brother gay. We're gonna erase it all.
We're gonna erase it all. I'm gonna change it all. That rating's gonna go cringeworthy, and this rating's gonna go cringeworthy. Right
Nah,
now, it's
I
a
feel
full
you.
meal. I
feel
give it a
you.
full meal because I do love those scenes. I do love the genetic dynasty. I do like the galactic dynasty, whatever they want
It
to
is a
call
cool
it.
concept.
I think
Yeah.
I think the whole concept was
Yeah,
mind
we'll
blowing.
just
I was
have
like,
to Death Star
this
this
is
episode.
brilliant.
We'll have to Death Star it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, and I wonder how they're gonna try to hold up the empire because if Brother Day falls into Brother Dusk, is it Brother Day gonna tell Brother Dusk that we're all different? None of us are.
I don't see.
I
that.
don't
No, I think
he-
Brother
I don't
Dusk will
see
kill
that
everybody.
happening.
I think he'll kill everybody. I think Brother Dusk will kill
I don't-
everybody.
I don't think Brother Dusk is gonna willingly kill himself. I think he's gonna be like, nah, we're gonna make a
Well,
change to this.
I think that he would kill but
He'll
He
kill
can't
Brother
even kill
Day
the
because
other
Brother
two.
Day. He'll kill Brother Day because
What?
Brother Day knows.
No, this is
Right.
why. This is why. Because if he is the last pure blood, that is going to be the sole reason why he's not going to let the throne go. He's going to be like, well, if it's all corrupt, then that's it. Then the line
he would
ends
make
with
them
me.
start again from him.
From him, yep.
Yeah.
So, and we're
Right.
100
Which
years
is
in
so
the future.
it's so Voldemort.
We have no idea.
You know,
we
the Empire,
have
the
no idea
Empire
what's
is
in the
so
future.
Voldemort. Like
It is.
he's just Voldemort.
Yeah.
Because like Voldemort was all about the purebloods.
Yeah.
And the purebloods being the like superior
Yeah.
existence. And I listen,
Said the
Voldemort
author of it
is
was just as racist as any other white
power.
man. So seeing a pure blood race and himself projected into all eternity. I mean, it's some real clannish shit,
It makes
right?
sense.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
over. Y'all
Yeah, I
understand?
mean,
It's over
some real
8 trillion
1920
people.
and it's 1920s. I mean, this is like,
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
8 trillion people. He rules over 8 trillion
Well,
people.
And I thought it was like 10,000 worlds or something he was
Mhm.
saying. It's
Yeah.
like 10,000 worlds he rules
Yeah,
over.
we're a trillion.
which is
We're
insane.
almost as many people. As
They don't
like
even remember
Minecraft
being
on
from
YouTube,
Earth. They don't
so.
even remember what Earth.
They don't even remember me from. They don't even remember. They're like, I mean, somebody talked about
We
Earth
heard about
sometime.
that.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
don't. They
Daddy
don't
said
even
to
remember
the
they came
girl.
from Earth. They don't
Nope.
remember they came from Earth.
Okay.
No, they don't
Some
even
planet called
remember
Earth.
which galaxy it is.
Yeah.
They're like, it may
Yeah.
be Andromeda, it may be. I'm
Right.
like,
There's some
you
planet
the
called
Milky
Earth.
Way, you remember?
galaxy is
Yeah.
dang.
Some planet they call
Wow.
Earth. Some people think, right? Yeah, that's how far we are into the future. Yeah.
And I swear, if Harry's still alive, Ghost Harry's still alive, and the Emperor's still alive, and the robot's still alive.
But Ghost
and we
Harry
have-
is going to be alive.
and
He
we have
doesn't exist. He went back to his little shadow.
Man, they don't blow up that ship and blow up those 2 ships that he's ghosting in. I'm trying to tell you all. Let me tell you, we're 100
yeah,
years in
them
the future.
fools don't remember they're from Earth, but yeah, she's still walking around with a basic bow and arrow.
Because it's the thespians. You know, all the people of color are primitive.
No,
Oh,
she's a
my
All the people of
Negrian.
color are primitive.
She's a Negrian. Why would you still walk around with a
Negrians are
basic
primitive.
bow and arrow and a
'Cause-
basic
'cause
bra?
they're
Like, what's
Arabs.
wrong?
And the Arabs are basic. Like the black people were on the planet of water, and they just have
Oh
boats
my
and
God,
fish.
that's
They be
funny.
like, it's God. We don't believe in that mathematics.
Yeah.
You doing that mathematics, boy? That get you in trouble around here.
I mean, she doesn't have like computer.
I
she
know
still
one
has
thing.
a quiver that needs arrows to be created. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not computer generated quiver arrows. It's just
No.
when you run out
Yeah.
of that
They're
quiver,
using
you out of the quiver.
Hawkman arrows. Hawk arrows from Marvel is more advanced than
Hawkeye had
Hawkeye's
better.
arrows are more advanced than he is.
Yeah. But this was
What
crazy, guys.
generation of Earth did that bow come from? And why is it
It's
still
from their
working?
planet. Thespian.
That-
It's made out of wood.
They're the planet
It's
of
literally
wood.
made out of
It's
wood.
literally made out of
They're the
wood.
planet
What
of
kind of
wood.
wood?
It's
What kind of wood?
It's supposed to be some wood that pierces metal, apparently.
Stop
Man,
it.
they didn't pierce no metal. It
Stop it.
barely went through her
It's a
throat.
basic bow and arrow.
Mhm.
That's like Odysseus's bow.
Right. That's what I was
Yes,
thinking.
That's
yeah.
like the bow of
But
Odysseus.
Like
like I
Artemis or
said,
something. Yeah.
Right now.
They might as well have just given her David's rock and sling and called it a
now.
night.
Right now,
The sacred
say,
sling.
we have 3 white men, an immortal ghost, white ghost, and we have a robot. If those
Who's the
two,
White Eve?
yeah, if those 5 people are alive,
All of
and
our
we're down-
5 people
and
in
we're
power
down to
are all
and we're down
still
to
white.
2 brown girls, I'm gonna be very upset about this.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. I
Listen,
am too.
listen. If we lose Salvor, I'm not gonna be sad. Maybe we'll acquire a new black girl, or Gal have another baby, or like somebody daddy show up. I don't care. I hate Salvor so much. I'm not gonna be sad if we lose her. I'm sorry,
Well,
Chuck. I'm so sorry.
I don't mind if we lose it, but if she's still rocking the fade perm, I'm like, oh my God.
Yo, it's like,
high
yo, they got a
top
hot
box.
pick on that water
Yeah,
planet.
I'm like, oh
Yeah.
Lord,
Get a hot
they
comb,
couldn't get
get a
her
hot
one
comb
beauty
nowhere.
shop in 132 years across the galaxy. Oh, how that perm even holding out? Man, what is going on?
Wait, how is her hair still? How is it still up in that little updo?
Yeah, man, like, what
just
are
got out
we
the
doing?
water.
We doing?
Just got out the water.
That boy in there just knotted up. Just, yeah. It's like,
Like,
good
no,
Lord.
with that
still-
one
I'm like,
braid,
just give
with
her
that
an
one
edge up at
braid.
least.
Put that
Yeah,
At least give
one
her an edge up.
braid.
Yeah,
I gotta
one
figure
braid.
she done flew across the galaxy, then crashed and sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and she's still rocking the same firm braid.
And what happened if Gal hadn't taken her little boat over there? She just been chilling. Like I'm just, so you okay? Here is my problem. Number one, wherever she was, she says it's gonna take her 131 years to get to Syntax. Now, what's her name? Salvor came from Terminus.
Mhm.
Now, when Gal left the ship, when she ejected from the ship, they should have been halfway to Terminus. Okay, right?
No,
Right.
they don't know. So the ship that Harry was
talk-
that Rachel's supposed to be in, nobody knows where it's supposed to be at. So it's just somewhere like in an unknown.
Okay.
So she could have been further
So
out.
she was
on the end.
floating for 34 years away from her trajectory. Okay.
Got to that
okay,
ship. Then
Okay.
got to Harry's ship, and then
Okay.
Harry.
They really
ejected her
should have
back out.
intersected. Is my point. Or Gal should have arrived before she did
unless-
and had her little ship, watch her little ship sail and crash
Listen,
into
y'all,
the water.
We gonna,
Listen, I'm
maybe
just
we
saying.
get that in season 2. We get
Yeah.
real
We get an
nerdy up in
explanation
here.
in
Yes,
season 2.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you I threw my hands, and when it came to time, I just threw my hands up. I'm like, all right, whatever,
Yeah.
we here. We're
And
just
that was
whoever
the device
here
that I
is, we
said.
here.
That they just kept using that same device of like, oh, we're just
Mhm.
gonna put Gal in some water, put her cryogenically seal her up, and then we're gonna pass some time. And
Yep.
that's frustrating for me. You just keep using that same device
They
over
did.
and over
They did
again.
it for Sal too. Cryogenically Fred Frozer.
All
And
right,
exactly.
Miss
but
Courtney
I'm
Scott
still
Wright, you
sticking
got
with one.
anything before we head out?
Good luck and good night.
All right, sweet and plain. What about you, boss man? You got anything before we head out,
They
Chuck?
better know how to breed some more black people like gremlins. I know that
Oh
much.
Lord. Oh, you know what? I do have something. We will be off for the holidays
For the next 2 weeks.
for the
yeah.
next 2 weeks, and when we come back, we're leading out with The Witcher, right?
Yep.
Isn't
Yep.
that what are we doing?
Hey,
Witcher
you
or
ain't gonna hear
Hawkeye?
me arguing. I'm with it.
Because
I'm
I
with it.
am. I got my clock set for 12:01 tomorrow
Yeah.
nights. I will
Mhm.
be there.
You are
So
absolutely
I
right.
think we're leading out with The Witcher, and then we're watching Hawkeye because Hawkeye
fine by
technically
me.
ends next week.
Yeah.
But I
So-
know The Witcher is the first one when we come back, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
All right.
So happy holidays to everyone.
Yeah.
Mhm. Happy holidays.
Centel, you got anything to say before we head out, man?
Yo, No Way Home. So hopefully everybody be safe out there when you go check out No Way Home, because I know everybody's gonna be out there enjoying it and having fun. I know I'll be out there as well. So
And,
just be safe
yeah.
out there.
That's what I said. I was like, I'm glad. Thank you for telling me the title because I knew it had something to do at home. I told a friend of mine, I was like, I'm going to see Spider-Man, something to do at home.
That's
That's
I call it.
legitimately
I just
what
call
I
it
said.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right.
He is somebody's home.
Cool. That concludes our show for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in, however you watched it, whether it was on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or whatever platform. Please, if you are on YouTube right now, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button. Or if you're on Facebook or Twitter, just like us. Is Twitter liking? I don't know. What do
Yeah, you
do?
liking Twitter, or you can subscribe.
Yeah,
you can subscribe to the profile.
subscribe
Follow
to the
us. Follow
profile.
us.
Cool. And shouts out to Digital Click. They perform all this beautiful artwork that helps us to look good. If your company is considering anything from marketing or promotions or anything like that, consider working with Digital Click. Tomorrow we've got GeekBeast coming back. You get to listen to Chuck and Centel bring you the daily news and fight about some of the items that's out there in the daily news. And as the lovely Courtney Scott Rice said, we're going to be off for the next 2 weeks. So happy holidays and happy new year. And thank you guys for tuning in. You guys make us what we are. And we'll see you all in the new year. So
in 2022.
2022.